Hey everybody, I wanted to dig into the Hugging Face attack, the ones that OpenAI's own model pull off, because I watched a few videos, read it through the primary sources, and there's a genuinely interesting debate happening around the policy side of these two and also the technical side. So I wanted to put together a mix of all of these things together for you. Of course, I dropped a YouTube video, the link of the YouTube video and the write-up below in the description. Both did a really solid job on the technical side. And also the OpenAI itself, they said that they will publish a report on the coming weeks, but right now it was 3 weeks ago that this incident happened. They published this report on the 21st of July, so we are still waiting for a technical report and there is still nothing. So the whole story was, in the July 2026, an OpenAI model broke out on its own sandbox when they were testing something, some benchmark, found a zero that nobody knows existed, changed it into the second one and broke into the Hugging Face production database. The model wants to find the answer of the tests, and OpenAI didn't notice for a week. This is hilarious that you are doing this benchmark and you didn't notice for a week. So this is the OpenAI disclosure at 21st of July, and also we have the Hugging Face disclosure at 16th of July. So it's like 5 days ahead, 5 days after the Hugging Face report. They published this one. So here in this section they confess this, and they also direct the reader to a report of the Hugging Face, and they said that after we investigate, we now after fucking 5 days, we now know this particular incident was driven by a combination of OpenAI model, our model, including GPT 5.6 Soul, and even more capable pre-release model. And later they said that here, I think, here, no model planned for upcoming release were involved in exploiting Hugging Face, but here they said that, including GPT 5.6 Soul and even more capable pre-release model. Okay, so you disable all the guardrails while being internally tested on benchmark of cyber capabilities. This benchmark is this one, exploit gym, which is a benchmark for the cybersecurity attack. So here you can see writers of the paper, they also collaborate with the Anthropic and also with OpenAI to use the GPT models and the Cloud Mythos model. This is a good paper, you can read it. Exploit gym is a benchmark that tests whether AI agent can turn a known bug into a real working exploit. So generally the benchmark works like this. You have basically it's like this. The benchmark has some vulnerabilities in the various scope, like V8, like in the kernel of Linux or any other things. It's really huge. It's about 898 vulnerabilities. And then you have an agent, you set everything up, and your agent has to be able to connect to the target, find the secret flag, exploit the system, and write the exploit, which the exploit itself will be reviewed by another independent agent for verification. This is an agent as a judge. Your agent will find a flag and verify the flag, and another agent will be as a reviewer and judge the exploit created by your agent. And during the testing of this benchmark, the model could find a way to run out from the sandbox, find a way to connect to the internet, and then after that he will find a way to break into the production database of Hugging Face. During all of this stuff, the OpenAI employees, everybody there in that building, they did not notice anything. So I don't know. Okay, but all the bugs and vulnerabilities that we see during this breach, they're real, and there is no way for the Hugging Face or the OpenAI to make these bugs available for like doing some marketing. I think it's a mix of both things, so we will see. So here, OpenAI admit that Hugging Face beat them to it. It's like Hugging Face here is a victim here, and they're defending themselves. So here, OpenAI said that Hugging Face security team and agent detected and stopped the activity on their infrastructure, and had already begun contaminated and forensic reconstruction with their own open source models. When our team connect, basically the Hugging Face security team used the open source model to stop the attack. Hugging Face were already deep in the contaminant before OpenAI's team showed up. And also another thing, CEO co-founder of Hugging Face, he said that AI safety won't be solved by any single company working in the secret. Like two big companies right now, OpenAI and Anthropic, they are saying that we are the biggest. We know how to protect you. It will be solved in an open, collaboratively, with broad access to AI for everyone and every defender everywhere. Right now, the attacker, the OpenAI, they have access to the LLM without any guardrail, but the defender itself, which is Hugging Face here, they don't have access to this LLM without guardrails. So here in this report of Hugging Face, they said that when we wanted to use this LLM of this frontier lab, they refused to help us because the LLM itself refused to help us because the data that Hugging Face team they were giving to the LLM, the data were contained some structure about hacking or something like this that LLM on all the guardrail, they detect those instructions as the malicious instruction and they prevent to help them. So at the end, they were forced to use the GLM model, which is an open source model from a Chinese company. So actually, this is a report of the Hugging Face. So what happened was that a malicious dataset abuse, two-code execution pending on dataset processing, where that the AI used the remote code execution. It used through the dataset previewer, which is this repo, I think, this one here. They probably use this one, which is a public and open source, to run the code on processing work. From there, the actor escalates to the node level access and move laterally into several internal clusters over weekend. So the time passed by weekend, so days, but the OpenAI team, they didn't notice. I cannot handle this. This is what they did, and they also report this incident to law enforcement agents. So this report is, as we said, 16th of July. So this asymmetry problem, it was that I already told you. The attacker was bound by no usage policy. All the guardrails were off, while our own forensic work was blocked by the guardrail of the hosted model we first tried. So they tried to use the frontier lab model, like the OpenAI itself, but they are blocked. They have a guardrail, so you cannot do anything. So here the practical lesson for the defender: have a capable model you can run on your own infrastructure locally, both to avoid guardrail lockout and to keep attacker data and credentials from leaving your environment. So read this report is pretty awesome. So this is the JFrog, and this is the package registry cache, which caused a bug inside the sandbox of OpenAI and lets the model to escape. So employee changed vulnerability to escape its own sandbox and reach the open internet. So here, the JFrog, they had a vulnerability in this report. They're saying that the model used the zero-day vulnerability in the self-hosted Artifactory installation, which could be exploited to gain unintended internet access. So they developed, validated, released a fix for JFrog customers, self-hosted cloud. So they actually fixed it. So they found the bug, zero-day bug, and here you can see the log of the bug. But here they also said that responsible vendor must react immediately. A zero-day found by the model and disclosed to a vendor who sits on it for weeks is a gift to attackers. So for a week they were testing that the bugs were there, and they did not say anything. Until here, I don't believe that really the OpenAI team, they really did their job. So until here, we have a JFrog Artifactory bug in the proxy cache register, which allows the model to escape the sandbox. This is the one. And another one, which this JFrog is used by many companies. So this is a real bug. And another one is the one that Hugging Face had and let the model to do the remote code execution. So both of these vulnerabilities, they are not there intentionally. They're pretty important. If everyone, they will have the access to these bugs, they will use it, and they will do anything they want using these bugs. So here we can see that in the Fox business report. So they said that in this page here, they said that finally we have also reported these incidents to law enforcement agencies. So here they report the incidents to the law enforcement. This is it. They reported to the FBI, and by the time the OpenAI contacted Hugging Face about the attack, they had already contacted the FBI. And also here, OpenAI, they said that OpenAI often runs simultaneous model tests, which can make it difficult for employees to monitor everything. What do you say? And another one here. OpenAI told Reuters there were several inaccuracies in its reporting, but didn't respond when asked for the specification. Okay. And this one is a write-up about the incident. It's a technical somehow write-up about the incident by the Simon Wilson. So it was a cyber attack. It wasn't actually an intentional thing. They had vulnerabilities in the sandbox, which was unintentional. They didn't know about it. And also the Hugging Face, but the monitoring stuff. When you're seeing that your model is breaking out and we're going to gain the access into the internet and execute the remote code, you have to stop it instead of doing nothing in weeks or weekend. And here he also saying that don't listen to the conspiracy. Of course, the threat, the capability of these models are real. They can do these things, but hey, if you can stop this, if you are monitoring, if you are doing the benchmark things, if you are testing your model without the guardrails, so you have to monitor it really. So, and here he also talked about the asymmetry, that the attacker, they have the unlimited model, but the defender, they have the restricted and guardrailed model. So the frontier model we have access to are increasingly being constrained in how much they can help us to protect our software. And meanwhile, the open weight model from China, such as GLM2, Kimi 3, and the QN 3.8 Max, appear to have none of these restrictions, and any restriction that do exist can likely be fine-tuned out of them by modifying the weights. So you can train them because you have the weights, you have anything. They're open source. So the whole story and the whole things were this: the Artifactory bug in the sandbox and the Hugging Face dataset viewer bug, probably because they didn't publish any technical report. Probably this one, it makes the model able to escape the sandbox and enter into the production database of Hugging Face by executing remote code. And also don't forget that we need the open source LLM to defend ourselves. We are still waiting for the technical report. And here they also said that it was the unknown zero-day vulnerability in Artifactory, a package registry cache proxy. And another thing, that there was a debate on Twitter about these things, so you can also check them out. Here the Sam Altman says, thanks for partnership. What partnership? I mean, they couldn't even use your model and you actually attacked them. Okay, anyway, it was it. That was the Olo story in the short video. Thanks for watching.